Hi ladies, welcome. I'm so happy that you are joining me here for today's session. I am Lavon, your mindset, success, and growth coach, helping you to put yourself first because I believe that if you show a woman how to love herself, you show her how to love the world. So as you can tell in today's title, we are going to talk about fake friends. And this topic is so timely right now because it is cuffing season. And believe it or not, ladies, we have so many other things besides men that we have to worry about wanting to hunker down with us during these cooler months. And that includes fake friends. Now, we know that friendships are important to us. I know for me, my girls, they matter so much to me. They pour so much life into me and they help me to show up in the world in a much better light. In fact, there have been studies shown proving that if you have any close connections and including friendships, they help to extend your life. So friendships matter. They're very important. We're not here to sort of have people moving completely in silence, not have any friends. That is not what the topic of this video is about. It's just that we have so many people coming at us left and right. And the thing about a fake friend is they can be really detrimental to our success. And so I really want to talk about that because it's so timely during the fall season. And we'll get into why it matters so much right now. However, first, let's talk about what exactly is a fake friend. So a fake friend, I like to describe them based on their intentions towards us. So it's someone who likes something about you. However, they don't like it to help you grow or push you along. They like that thing about you and they want to attack you. They want to pick it apart, make fun of that thing that makes you shine. And so what they'll do is they'll get close to you, hence you'll feel that friendliness part. However, they will want to attack that great thing about you, hence that fake part. So that is what a fake friend is. However, I do want to be really clear that a fake friend is someone who just is there to cause harm. Nothing else, nothing more. All of that friendly part is all fake, hence the fake friend part. All right, so let's talk about the significance of the fall season and friends. I think this is a really great thing to hone in on. So as we know, the fall season is harvest season. And during this time, we are, collecting all of our produce, stocking it up, saving it, and there's just a bountiful amount of crops that are around us. We know that during the harvest season. However, you may not know that during the fall season, there are so many things that are bountiful in many other ways. In fact, right now for September and October, it's known as hiring month. So there are a lot of people who are able to get more jobs. Maybe you might even be getting more job opportunities. So the fall is really known as that season of abundance. And right now people are collecting a lot of knowledge. Like right now, I'm sharing information with you that I've done a lot of research on and you're taking in that information. So that's what the fall season is all about. And it's really good for you to know that because if you are looking for something, if you are just looking for a new job, looking for a new opportunity or something, right now is a great time to really just tap into the abundance of the fall season. So with an abundance of opportunities around us, we will also get an abundance of opportunities to make new connections or strengthen new ones. And we know one in particular is with a mate. We know that it's cuffing season and it's a time where, if you're single, you may want to just find someone to hunker down with during the colder months, or maybe you just may want to spend more time with your significant other in general. And so that is just something that we all are akin to knowing about during the fall month. However, history has shown that we naturally want to bond during this time, and it could be for that more romantic piece, but it's also out of survival. So, during the cooler months, it's hard to travel. And so what will happen is a community will come together, pool all of their resources, and everyone will just hunker down together. And in today's society, not much has changed. We still want to build community a lot more during the fall season more than any other time of the year. When we think about harvest, and a farmer collecting their crops, we know that just because it's an abundant season, it does not mean that that farmer is going out and just collecting every single piece of, every carrot or everything that they see in sight. No, they're inspecting the fruit or the vegetables. If it's good, does it have mold on it? Are they going to maybe sell it? Are they going to preserve it? They're thinking about everything that they can do with their crop. And when you think about it, that's the same thing we should be doing during the fall months with all of this abundance coming our way. In fact, us women, we do that already during the fall season when it comes to the mating, that mating part, like dealing with men. You already know that. Even right now, we're just getting so many people coming our way. People might be sliding into your DMs more than you've ever noticed any other time of the year. So people are just those guys are just coming at us, and we already know that we have to sift through to see if he's looking for Mrs. Right or Mrs. Keep Me Warm right now. So the same thing goes for when we are dealing with friends. We will have a lot of people who are just coming our way during this fall season, and we need to be able to have that same type of discernment that we do with men and with our crops and with jobs and things. Okay, so let's get into why exactly we have to be extra cautious about making friends during the fall season. And we've sort of talked about it, if you compare it to having that discernment because of cuffing season. However, let's just get into it more, focusing on friendships and how we interact with other women. So we women, we are social beings. We like community. We like to connect. However, that desire to build and want to connect with other people, it is very, very strong during the fall months. And so what happens is our discernment to be able to detect if, that girl is really genuine or we can see that she's not. It's really hard to notice that because there are things in ourselves where we really want to bond with people. And so it's not just about romantic relationships. We're sort of on the lookout already for that, but we need to also be aware of that thing that is in us of wanting to bond. We just have to be mindful that it doesn't just stop at romantic relationships. So that's important for you to know. Now, let us cover types of female bonding and the way that we make friends during the fall months. And I'm an American, I'm here in the States, so I'm going to give examples that really focus on how women bond during the fall season over here in the States. However, I think that these examples and this information can apply to any woman anywhere in the world, even you women right now who are experiencing spring because you're in the southern hemisphere. So I thought that was kind of funny to just that's kind of fun to share because we're always talking about seasons here in the States and other parts of the northern hemisphere, and we have viewers who are literally experiencing a different season than us. So I just wanted to share that. So here in the States, we take female fall bonding to a whole nother level. I mean, we go on hay rides, we go pumpkin, apple picking, we are exchanging recipes, sharing stories, we're hosting parties, attending parties. I mean, there is so much happening during this time. I know for me right now, I am in a cookie baking mood and I am making this key lime recipe, which I'm so excited to be able to share with my family and friends. And so again, there's that wanting to bond, wanting to share, wanting to just connect. And again, nothing wrong with that, but that is just something that goes on during these months. Now, because the fall is 3 months long, what happens is so much is going on during this month. I mean, these women are connecting, they're building these relationships, and after the 3 months, what ends up happening is that the woman feels that she has now made a lifelong quality friend. However, in reality, it's someone that she's only known for 3 months, but because that experience was so intense, and they were doing all these fun things and making all these fun memories, she may not see a lot of the red flags that this other woman may not be genuine. She's just, sharing secrets, and they're just going out, having cider, mulled wine. I mean, just doing all of the fun things of this season. For many women who have dealt with a fake friend, once they kind of know that they're discovering someone is not genuine, and they understand that they bonded over, a season like this, over a fall season, or maybe it's study abroad or something like that, they'll be able to pull back if they've done a lot of like their inner work. They've maybe have gone to therapy or have had a coach or something like that. However, women who have not done this, it's a little bit more of a challenge to be able to detect if this person is not being genuine towards you. So in fact, how this topic came about with me is that the women I work with, they had some friends that they were dealing with, and they weren't really sure if the friends were being genuine. Now, my role as a coach is not to ever tell someone that, what exactly to do. I can help them, see that maybe the person's character is not the best, and perhaps this is not someone that aligns with where they want to go in life, but I can't exactly tell someone, hey, no, don't be friends with this person. I don't even do that with my own friends. So what we'll do is we'll kind of go through, why is it that this person is causing you emotional stress? Why is it that this person is just being really negative towards you? Sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're not, they're hot, they're cold, and they're just causing you a lot of emotional turmoil. Why can't you walk away from this relationship? What's happening here? And what all of these women have said, most of these women have said, is that they can't let go of the relationship because of the good times. And do you know when most of those good times happened? During the fall months. Yes, they remember that bonding, that connecting, that getting together. And so what has happened is that woman has romanticized that period. She has romanticized that moment. And so no matter if the friendship has continued to go on and this other fake friend has, let the mask slip, this woman cannot let go of that bubbly, warm period. She's not understanding that this person's was just pretending all this time, because, again, during that time, you're bonding and you're having just great experiences, and everyone's all smiles. So these women were just having a difficult time trying to understand, how can everything be so great 1 second, and then all of a sudden this person has just changed. Okay, so now you are understanding why this topic is so important and so timely. You are getting that, cuffing season. Everybody is trying to cuff you. Jobs are going to come at you and they're going to say, oh, you're the best, but they might be trying to get you at a discount. So we just have to be mindful that right now it's an abundant season, but everybody's going to want your attention, but it doesn't mean that everyone deserves your attention, and you need to know that. Now, when I work with women and those who understand that the friendship has pretty much been romanticized based off of a very small chunk of time that when they met, in comparison to the 1 year or 2 year, 3 year, 5+ year relationship that they have, it's easy for some of them to be able to walk away at this point. They understand that the bond doesn't trump the many, many months and years of this person being hot and cold and being really nice 1 second and being negative the next. They understand that bonding moment was just a way for that fake friend to sell themselves to the other person. So they're able to walk away pretty easily, especially if they've been working on themselves. However, now for some women, maybe it's you, this awakening that the friendship you've had with a person was all romanticized based off of a very small period of time, and it does not trump the manipulation and the backhanded comments. It doesn't trump any of that that's been happening over 9 months, a year, 2 years, 5+. A lot of women are able to, at this point, they're able to walk away from that friendship because they understand that the person is not genuine and they've never been genuine. However, for some women, they still feel the need to hold on. They're still not ready to let go. And at that point, what we do is we start to focus on the individual, because that really is the real root of the problem of why we allow certain people into our lives. Now, I want to be real clear. This is not about victim blaming. This is not about victim blaming at all. The purpose of what we're about to go into is all about making you a victor. This is all about focusing on you. By no means is this blaming you for this person's negative treatment towards you. Okay, so we talked a bit about what a fake friend is, but let's break it down a bit more. Remember, the best way to describe a fake friend is someone who likes something about you, but they want to get close to you to harm and attack that thing that they like about you, and that's all. That's it. They don't want to do anything else. They're not there to help you. So, also a fake friend is someone who is poor in spirit. So what they do is, you might see them giving a lot and helping a lot. That giving is, they're not giving out of abundance. They're giving out of a lack mentality. They are giving because, and helping out and maybe showing some form of encouragement because that friend believes that she is not enough. And so she feels like she needs to give and do things to prove herself. And yes, that sounds probably like one of your genuine friends, right? And so this is where you have to have discernment, because what she will do while she's giving to get close to you and to stay close to you is, what will happen is you'll start to get these backhanded compliments, right? She'll start to take jabs at you and start to make you feel really uncomfortable. And so when you have discernment and you're walking in that discernment, you're really able to identify who's genuine and who's not. And you're able to see that just because you had a really great bonding experience, it again doesn't trump all of these covert things that she's doing to you. You're able to know that, no, she's just done a 180 and is trying to harm you. And it's really important for you to understand that, because that is how you will see the difference between a genuine friend and a fake friend. I mean, I have many fake friends who have gone to bat for me, right? But then I find out they're talking behind my back, or they're making these snarky comments, and they'll just make you feel so terrible and so bad about yourself if you keep them around. But again, a genuine friend who is giving and loving, she's doing it out of her abundance. She's not focused on feeling like she's not enough, because she knows she's enough, and she knows that you're happy you should be thankful to be around her, just as she is thankful to be around you. But the fake friend does not see it that way. That fake friend is pretty much jealous of you. Okay, so I talked about discernment. And if you are not working with a therapist or coach, or, not seeking wise elder counsel in this matter, then I would my suggestion for you is, and this is what I do. I mean, I do seek wise counsel, and I do have a coach of my own. However, if for some reason you don't have anyone around to work with, and I think you should do this even if you are working with someone. But what I do is, because discernment is a gift of the Spirit, I spend a lot of time just praying to God and talking to him and reading the word, because through that you really will get that discernment, and he'll be able to tell you if someone is genuine or not. I actually had I made a big move to South Florida a little bit ago, and the Lord told me, he told me about 3 people who I needed to get out of my life. And there was one my ex, who I knew, I was like, he needed to go. I knew that. There was obviously some soul ties of holding on there, but the other 2 were really good friends. And I kind of saw it, but the other one, I definitely did not see it. I mean, there were no real signs at all. There was like a few things, but it wasn't enough for me to make a move on it, right? But the Lord was like, these 3 people you have to get out of your life before I bless you. And I was like, what? I was like, no, me and this, again, one was my ex, and I knew I had to get rid of him, so I wasn't fighting that, but it was these 2 other friends. And I was like, oh my goodness, Lord, like, they have been so genuine and nice to me. And the one that, I kind of had an issue with, we talked through it. I asked her, I said, hey, it kind of feels like you're doing this or doing that. And I was like, we don't really have to be, I even approached her. I was like, we don't really have to be friends if I'm, if we just don't align, and if we're not gelling. And she would always say, oh no, I was just having a really bad time that day. So I thought that we had talked through it. Her mannerisms hadn't changed, but I thought it was just, I was like, oh, okay, like maybe there's just some things that she's working on. And I'm a bubbly person, as you can maybe tell. So I was like, everyone is not always on point, but that is because of my morning routine. Some days I don't always wake up with all this energy, but anyways, that is for another session that we can talk about, how morning routines help you to show up for yourself and to be able to show up for other people. But back to the topic. Let's stay on track here. And so through that discernment, the Lord told me to, have these people out of my life, because he would not release certain blessings to me until they were gone. And through time and just learning and seeing things, all 3 are out of my life, which I'm so thankful for. But I say that to say that, it really is, your therapist, your coach, mentor, they may not see this, your elders, they may not see these things, but God, he sees it all. And when you stay close to him, he can really help you through this friendship issue, because friendship issues are heart issues. And it is so important to deal with issues of the heart. And you don't want something that's heavy on your heart messing with you, because flowing out of the heart are the issues of life, but also good things come out of your heart. And when our heart is heavy, it is so difficult for the Lord to pour into us and give us ideas to create. So I think a lot of women, we don't like to talk about our friendship issues because we think that it's immature, and it's like, oh, that didn't bother me. But no, your friendships are so important, ladies. I mean, come on, we were talking about how it helps to extend one's life. Hello. Friendships are important. They do matter. It just matters more about the quality of that relationship. So you want to be able to have quality friends. That's what we're here about. We're not saying that they don't matter. Friendships are not, it's not a childish thing. It's not a playground thing. I'm just letting you know, friendships are so important. Some of my best friends have helped me just be a better woman. They've helped me to to shine, to grow. They've helped me with business ideas. They've helped me find, certain work opportunities. It's just been a great, as I've helped them. So your friends, they matter. It's just all about having quality friends. I know that, I just know how difficult that can be. And I was there. That's why I want to talk about friends, because I come from a very big family. Okay. So I'm drinking this mint tea, and I'm starting to do more videos. And so I was like, I need something to keep the voice going. I might have to heat it up in a second and take a break, but all right. So, yes, I used to be that woman where I was like, whatever, I don't need these friends. If they're fake, if they're not genuine, so what, whatever. But I was like, we're not supposed to do life without community. We're supposed to fellowship. We're supposed to build. And for us women as social beings, that is how we grow in business. That's really our edge and our advantage. Because as women, we are social beings. We're sharers. We're not so focused on someone like stealing our ideas, because we operate out of this abundance mentality. So for women, we're able to grow and make connections a lot better and a lot faster than men. So I really encourage you, to deal with your relationships. And, if you do have to let a friend go, just know that there are quality women out there who are just waiting to pour life into you as much as you will pour life into them. Trust me, do not give up. But let's keep going, because you kind of have to get some things out before we can to make room for the new. So let's keep going. So we were just talking about discernment and talking about how, the Lord spoke to me about a few things. And with that, with discernment and just being able to pinpoint, if someone is genuine or not, let's give an example of how cunning and covert a fake friend's actions can be. I'm going to read through this and look down just because it's a lot. It was like a specific example that I was giving. So say you are a bubbly and outgoing person, a social butterfly. While this friend may like this quality about you because she is essentially jealous of you for having it. So while you are both at a social event, she pulls you to the side and she tells you how you are being a bit too loud and that people really just want to be left alone. Even though you are at a networking or social event, she just wanted to pull you aside and let you know this. And then she explains to you that she is only sharing this feedback with you to look out for you. So hopefully this is not triggering for someone, but if it is, then my girl, yes, you see. So what happens is, because she is so close to you at this point, and this might be the first time she's ever taken the mask off, you may heed her advice moving forward, especially when she is around. But you are also in constant conflict with yourself now, because you know who God has called you to be in your heart. You know that He's called you to be this bubbly social butterfly. So now what happens in your spirit is you have to balance or tone down who you are. You may even miss out on some opportunities to network or level up to a better job, because you may not be putting yourself out there like you used to, or heck, you may not be in the position to meet better quality friends because you're not out there socializing and being that butterfly that you are. So that's one example. Another instance is if you are known to be very fashionable. This one is really focused on a backhanded compliment. So another instance is if you are known to be very fashionable, and so she compliments your dress, saying, wow, you look amazing in that dress. I almost didn't notice that you're wearing the same heels that you always wear. But girl, you are rocking that dress. Most often, it will never be something super direct, nor will it be very clear enough that she has just disrespected you. You'll feel hurt by it, but it'll be done in a way where there'll be enough, space for her to save herself. However, you have to know that this is intentional. She wants you to feel disrespected. She wants you to be hurt. She wants you to most likely, kind of almost like shrug. If you ever notice like your whole disposition changing, you might have been in a really good stance. And so what she's doing is, because she's poor in spirit, she needs to like knock you down. I want to pause for a moment. If all of this makes sense to you and you're like, duh, hello, like, we know fake friends, that is great. Then you are just learning, you're taking in, a lot more information, and you're just kind of getting more confirmation. That's important. But to be honest, I used to be that woman who I kept fake friends around for a long time, because they would do these things. They would do these types of mental things that were covert, and you didn't really know if they were being genuine or not. And then again, you had this bonding time, and there was so much that they were helping you and so kind to you, but then they would do these things to kind of like chip away at you. So I do think it's important for some women who are listening to this and are kind of having an awakening right now to be able to take this in. I just wanted to share that, because not everyone gets it. We all come from different walks of life. So I think if you have that insight, that's so great, but not everyone does. So again, she wants you to feel disrespected, but she won't do it so blatantly, because her intentions are to stay close to you. And so what will happen is, she wants to leave things unclear. But in this course, I am here to provide clarity. Things will be clear for you by the end of what we have just talked. If it's not clear to you now, it will be clear to you by the end of why I would walk away, of why you deserve better, of why you have to put yourself first. Baby girl, you have to put yourself first. But let's keep going. So the reason why she wants things to be in the gray area is, again, so she has an opportunity. If you do approach her, which again, I did this with a fake friend. So I'm talking from experience. I'm just letting you know. I was like, we're not just pulling this out from thin air. I'm talking from experience. I'm talking from, working with clients. This is what they do. So even if you are direct and ask her, hey, this made me feel this way. What did you mean by that? And you say, I wouldn't do that to you. What she'll say is, she'll deny her malicious intent, because again, it's a backhanded compliment. And she's saying it's constructive criticism. So she'll say she didn't mean it that way. She'll say that she talks to all of her friends this way. She might even say that maybe she might be a manager at her job, and she's like, I was just giving you feedback the same way I give people, at work. She will gaslight you. She will say that, it seems like maybe you're just not mature enough to take in the feedback or the information, but she's just trying to help you, take it or leave it. And she'll say, girl, I love you, The point is to stay close to you. So what happens is, even when you call her out, there's no lie detector here, right? You are going to have the discernment to know that this is not okay. I just wanted to say. So again, because she has no plans to ever admit her true intentions, this is so important for you to have discernment, especially during the fall season, because my girl, my queen, let me let you know, you are so special. People are coming at you every single way, in every single direction. And you may not believe that about you, but there are things that people see that are amazing about you, and some will not say it because they want you at a discount. It could be a job. It could be a man. But hey, it could also be a friend. It could also be a platonic relationship. I'm just letting you know, putting you up to the whole game. Okay. Understanding how a fake friend works, understanding that whole bonding moment, and understanding that, we may want to stick around someone because there's parts of us that just want to have that, community piece. Understanding all of that about what's going on with ourselves and with that other person, it's usually pretty easy for a good portion of the women that I work with to walk away. However, there are still women who find it hard to walk away. And the reason being is because they have been told since, this woman has been told since she was a little girl, and maybe you have been told since you were a little girl, to just be kind. There might have been people who were picking on you at school, and your parents just said, just pray for them. People are like, it might be somebody's bothering you at work, and you're told just pray for them and just be kind to them, and they'll change, and maybe God wants you to just show kindness to them. And I mean, they will use a lot of scripture, to kill someone with kindness, and to forgive 77 times. All of that makes sense. But I just want to share this part with you to really help you sink in what someone is doing, because this really is manipulation. The same thing that is being told to you, to just be kind to a person, to just forgive and allow the abuse to continue. This is after you realize that the person is not genuine, and you keep them around, and you do it because you feel that you need to be the kind person and not let them go. This same tactic was used to keep enslaved Africans in America down. It was used to keep slavery going. People were told that they should pray for their captors. They should pray for the people who are causing them harm. Now, I'm not saying, yes, you can pray for them, but you should also try to get free. Are you telling me that you should just stay in the situation where they are murdering your people and you're getting slashed? I'm just trying to paint a picture of a tactic that was being used to keep a whole nation down, for you to understand that is manipulation. It's one thing to be kind to a person. It is one thing to pray for them, but you do not deserve to stay in the lane of abuse. That's just, you don't deserve that. So that was heavy. That was rough, but it's the reality of it. It's not okay to, allow someone to just stay in any form of abuse, even if it's verbal abuse or this emotional and mental turmoil. So I want to say, thankfully, not everyone took that advice to just pray for our captors, because Just pray for them. Now I'm sharing that here, but of course, during a one-on-one coaching session, we don't go that deep all the time to delve into, they use the same tactic on slaves. No. I'm just sharing that here because I wanted to give you a wealth of information where you're able to digest this at a time that, suits you. And, someone could be watching this video 2 years from now, 3 years from now, or just rewatching it to really let certain things sink in. So some things might go over your head. Certain things might stand out at you at different times when you watch and review this session. So I'm just sharing that here. What we will do is in order for a woman to be able to understand that difference between kindness and seeing a person who's flawed and allowing that flawed person to be unkind, we go through this exercise. And I call it one of my light bulb exercises because my hope is that by the end of it, a light bulb will have gone off. So first I ask her, are you perfect? And she'll say, no one is. And then I ask her, do you have any faults or flaws? And she'll say, yes. No, again, nobody's perfect. So I say, okay. Then I ask her, with your faults and flaws, would you do any of what this woman has done to you or to another person? Would you treat another woman the way your friend treats you? Immediately, without hesitation or without thinking, she says no. Kind of sits back and just realizes that she herself is not perfect, but she's not being rude to people. She's not giving backhanded compliments. She's not making people feel down. And if she is, and then somebody, addresses it, she'll work on that genuinely and she'll apologize, but won't do any gaslighting or anything of that nature and won't repeat the same covert offense. Holding oneself in high regard, it's great. It is amazing. When you kill someone with kindness and when you show them kindness, what happens is you don't seek retribution. That's great. They, said something terrible about you. You don't seek to do the same thing back to them. But it doesn't mean that you stay in the line of fire. It doesn't mean that you continue to receive that abuse from that person. Also, in another session, we'll get into the nice girl trope. But if you have been kind to this woman, she will be entitled to your kindness and she will continue to make you not feel good about yourself. In fact, any nice girl, people can see that from miles and miles away. And if someone wants to abuse that kindness that a nice girl has, they will take full advantage and not have any remorse about it. And so a lot of people, I've dealt with that, just being kind to people, and people just expect that kindness. They're just like, oh, you're nice. We know you're going to do this. And so just being mindful of that, of just knowing that people are really abusing that kindness that you have. And I'm going to go heat up my tea, and then we'll continue. I have this, I need to get a mug warmer. I have to wait for this to cool down. That's the thing about heating it up in the microwave. Then you have to wait for it to cool down and all that stuff. So anyways, all right, back to the topic. I hope you're enjoying it so far. This really helped me to heal everything that I'm sharing with you. And I do think that this will help you to heal, especially right now during this time. Because if you are healing from a fake friend and you haven't really done that work just yet, or if you are dealing again with that heart issue of whether to let someone go, you are closed up. If you have a fake friend around, or if you are still healing from that fake friend and just don't know how to kind of move on from that relationship, you could be missing out on a really abundant season to welcome in some really great people into your life. So my hope is that this is helping you, because it really helped me. All right, so we're gonna wrap up the first part of this video. So now, once a woman fully understands the scope and nature of that friendship, that it was fake, it was not genuine, then walking away from the friendship becomes very easy, because she understands everything we just talked about, that it was a bonding experience, that she really built, that the foundation was just on that bonding. It was just on that fun moment. She understands that the good things this friend was doing was all for the friend's benefit. It was never to really show kindness to her. They understand that those backhanded compliments and those just moments of constructive criticism, it was all to, again, cause harm. It was done with malicious intent, not with good intent. And she also understands that being flawed does not mean being unkind, because nobody is perfect. And if that were true, then everyone in the world would, be terrible people. So she understands that she can't just keep giving this woman a pass. She also understands that she does not need to stay in the line of fire. She does not need to accept the abuse just because she feels bad for this other person and knows that maybe this person needs to work on herself and is jealous. It doesn't mean that she needs to keep that person around. So it's much easier for her to walk away. It ends up being a very eye-opening moment for this woman and, for these women I work with. And I hope that this is really eye-opening for you, because I think when we have a lot of these fake friends and people who are just not genuine around us, your mind just starts playing tricks on you. And not only will you start to question the friendship, you'll start to question everything. You'll start to question if this other person is genuine and if, you should take this job, and you'll just start questioning so many other things. And so when you kind of get people out of your life who are making you, who are playing these mind games with you, you're able to think more clearly. And you're also not on the defense all the time, or you don't feel like you're always looking over your shoulder. So I do hope that you have peace in that. And in having peace, however, the reality is that the relationship that you currently have, even if you're planning on walking away from this person, or that you had, there was a bond, there was a connection. Those fun moments, they did happen. For you, it was true. For you, it was real. It doesn't matter if we find out that the person is completely fake. It doesn't matter if you hear that the person was talking behind your back. None of that matters. It was real for you. It was a true experience. You received their kindness. Everything truly did happen. It's not like you woke up from a dream and then you have this friend that nobody else knows about. This is a real experience. It's a real relationship that you had. And I say that because it is a bittersweet moment. Your mind is really just, especially as women, we easily forget the pain. We naturally forget the pain, right? It makes why, women are able to have children a couple times. I know some women who have 10. You're able to keep going because you just remember all of the good and wonderful moments. So it's going to be bittersweet. But that's okay. That is normal. It is fine for it to be a bittersweet moment for you. But what I like to say is that, sometimes, when we get a diagnosis, we don't always get the cure right away. We always don't get the medicine right away. Sometimes they're like, okay, you have this thing and you have to go pick it up from the pharmacy. And so we've just gone through the diagnoses. You have a fake friend. This person is not good for you. They do not serve you. This is how you're going to get better by removing them out of your life. But they might say you still need this medicine to keep it from coming back, right? And so you need to go to the pharmacy. You need healing. And it's so important. We may not think that we need healing after dealing with a fake friend, but I'm telling you, there was a soul tie, there was a bond. It's just not easy. It's okay to admit that. And I mean, you have just gone through like the mental gymnastics of your life because you're trying to figure out, why is this person hot and cold the next? So, this person was constantly bringing you down, but now it's time to aim higher. It's time for you to heal and to walk away. For me, when I'm going through this healing process, or if I'm coaching the girls through this healing process, we'll focus on 3 things: forgiveness, redistribution of energy, so energy work, and we'll work on self-worth or self-acceptance. So we'll cover those 3 things. There's other things that we do with healing, but this one really hones in on that relationship separation piece and really focus on healing your heart. And now I want some tea because I think it's cool now. I'm like, is it? It's kind of. Oh my goodness. That was hot. But it actually felt good. Anyways, I don't watch this show anymore because I realize I cannot watch toxic relationships, but I learned so much from Housewives, especially Housewives of Potomac and New Jersey. You learn so much about relationships and friendships, and I mean, people who went on the show and were true and, real friends, and how they had a falling out. I want to cover some of those friendships. So we're gonna dive into that, because that actually, two pens. There was taking different notes with them, but watching the Housewives series, I learned a lot about fake friends through watching that show. I've stopped because my spirit cannot take in all that drama. I was like, I don't have beef with anybody right now. Why do I feel like I'm beefing with someone? So I have stopped, but why I brought it up is because in the Housewives of Potomac, there's a grandmother or a mom or something who's very elegant, and she's this elder woman, and she needs piping hot tea. And I was thinking about that episode just now. So if you know that, definitely leave a comment or whatever. But yeah, I've just stopped watching it because I was like, I will say I've just learned so much about women who are older and how they're going through friendships. And yes, we know a lot of the things are scripted, but these women some of them are going through some really serious stuff. And if you bring a friend on the show and you have a falling out, that is just anyways, some of them find out that they were never their friends to begin with, and you learn so much. So we will cover that in another video and have a whole session on it at another time. But let's focus on the healing part today, because this is about you right now. You came for that, and let's give you that. Let's give you the starting point of it. So starting with forgiveness, you want to focus on first forgiving yourself. This is so important. when you're in the fake friend, when you're in that relationship with that fake friend, you didn't know. You didn't know until the lights were turned on. And so you have to forgive yourself, because you will beat yourself up on like, why didn't I know better? And I should have sound the signs, or I should have believed the warning signs when I saw them. You just didn't know. And when you forgive yourself, what happens is you learn to trust yourself more. You are more open and receptive to receiving true love and true care and true quality friendships from other people. And so really focus on forgiving yourself, and just taking this experience with a fake friend or fake friends as an opportunity as a learning opportunity, which in life, everything is a learning opportunity. So just take it as that, and really start to be able to move on, and know that, we've all gone through this. There are women who are like in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s who are like finding out that people are not as genuine as they thought. You have gotten a head start. So just forgive yourself, be thankful that you see what has happened, and just take this as a moment where you now know how to detect the deception in the future. Also, forgiving ourselves acknowledges our own flaws. It acknowledges that we make mistakes, because remember, we talked about we only saw the fake friend as someone who's flawed, and maybe even though we know that they're not genuine, we're okay with them sticking around because they're flawed. But you're flawed too. None of us are perfect. And so being able to acknowledge that none of us are perfect and that we are flawed, we acknowledge that we make mistakes, and we're much more equipped to be able to move forward and, just take on the great things that God has for us. So I almost missed that part. Just wanted to share that. Of course, we are going to forgive the fake friend. And then we are going to, we may, during any like of journaling or self-discovery, or just you might find out about some things, we may have to forgive people who knew that the friend was not genuine and could have, given you some information a long time ago. We're going to forgive them, because really, would that have changed anything? Sometimes people, they also want to stay out of the line of fire. So we're going to forgive them. We might even need to forgive our parents, because they sort of coached us in a way of being kind to people who are causing us harm. So we forgive them. But I want to say, in all of that forgiveness, do not go and reach out to people. This is something that you're just doing in your heart. Right now, you are healing. You are healing. You are not in the position to do this back and forth, okay? We're going to go into energy work, but that is not how you want to use your energy. Not at all. It could be maybe, I would say give it minimum 3 months time if you really feel like you need to go back and talk to someone and tell them, how certain things affected you. But it could be a year. It could be 5 years from now before you have that conversation. This is not about giving someone the opportunity to let them know how they affected you and that you've forgiven them. No, this is about you healing. Ladies, on this channel, it is all about putting yourself first, because baby, if you put yourself first, you will be able to show up in a time where you can really share with this person how they affected you, and you will do it in just a better light. Right now, you are healing. Do not get into it. The reason why I say do not tell the person right away is because we are coming from an abundance mindset. And so if you are like, oh my goodness, I'm going through this healing, I figured it out, you're a fake friend, but I forgive you, and you're telling them, all these things that you've learned, what's happening is you're doing it out of a place of lack. You are telling yourself that there is not enough time. You are saying that I need to tell them right away. You are saying that you need to be in a rush. But when you are coming from an abundance mindset, you are saying, there's time. I have the time. There will be an opportunity in a future that works for me, where I feel safe, where I feel better. And so you want to trust God in that moment, and just do your best to operate from a place of abundance and not be in such a rush to deal with everyone. Focus on yourself. Okay. Now we're going to get into energy work. So with energy work, the purpose is to, and I know it sounds kind of crazy. You're like, wait, isn't she a Christian? But well, let's get into it. So with energy work, the purpose here is to begin to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Your mind has been enthralled with this friendship. You have been dealing with someone who you feel is hot and cold and just has not been genuine. So what you have to do now is refocus your mental energy, also your physical energy, and how you spend your time. You want to think about this friendship as little as possible. This is very, very, very important. You do not want to focus, because at this point, if you've walked away from the friendship, you're focusing on the past. It doesn't matter if, if you need to sit down and maybe journal through a few things that come up out of your spirit, and you might be eye-open, like, oh, wow, the reason why I never told this person that they were, that their comment hurt my feelings, was because in my last friendship, I told them and they made an excuse. And so certain things might come up of just certain discoveries, or you'll be like, oh my goodness, so-and-so told me that this person was talking about behind my back. Which is another thing we'll cover with fake friends, because we've only talked about things that they're doing to your face. But so things might come up, and there might be other signs that you saw. You can write them down and move on. It's great for you to have that for the future when you're meeting new people. But for this moment, as you're healing, focus on anything else but them. So it could be you joining a new gym. It could be you going to a networking event, maybe, so that you can meet people who are in a similar field as you. It could be a run group. It could be a cooking class. Just do something to get yourself out there and really focus, because what happens is if you spent a lot of time with this friend, you really need to reshift your energy elsewhere, and that will help you to not focus so much on the other person. Do I have some other examples? All right. In addition to finding new activities to do and really getting yourself moving and getting yourself to not focus on what on the past, outside of journaling. So I'm saying, don't even rehash a situation. Hold on. This is cool now, okay. But not too cold. Someone might want to say, girl, what happened? Tell me about it. You can say, look, girl, right now, you may not even say like I'm healing. You can say, right now, I am so busy focusing on building my new skill, working on my new business, decorating my house, whatever it is. You can say, that is not how I want to spend my time, because they might catch you off guard, and it could be like at brunch, with people, and you can say, this is not how I want to spend my time. I'm here to build a relationship with all of you and see how all of you are doing. You can say, I'm good. We can talk about the new fitness class I've joined. We can talk about how to redesign my home. Like, we can talk about all these other things, but I don't want to talk about things in my past. Really do your best not to even talk about them. And so this exercise that I have people do, it's an exercise that anyone can do when you're setting goals, because there's like a study that shows anything we're doing right now, working towards ourselves, is really helping to materialize our world 5 years from now. Sooner, but definitely you will get it within 5 years. So what I have is I have women, they'll do an exercise, and it's them writing in the present, but it's 5 years from now. So what'll happen is you'll get some paper or a notebook, but give yourself enough time, get some tea or whatever, drink that you want, or snacks and things, and just really feel, if it's putting on your most cozy, PJs or outfit or whatever, or maybe going to your favorite park, or if it's the beach, just getting yourself in the right moment. Okay. If it's getting and having some coconut water, just also hydrate yourself, just replenish yourself while you're doing this as well. It could be some fruits or just something while you're doing this. So you'll have pen and paper or a notebook, and what you'll do is you're going to write down in present where you'll be 5 years from now. And so it's not just in 5 years, it's no, I am, I could do that right now. Right now I could say, I could say 5 years. I was going to say, oh wow, it's 2024. So I was oh wow, okay, so it's October, it's October 2029, and wow, this view that I'm looking at is amazing. I can't believe I finally made it to, I can't believe that I finally made it to Dubai. I just love it here. I love being around the sand. I love playing in it. Right now, I'm getting ready to go to my favorite bar class. After that, I am going to have brunch with the girls, something like that. I don't want to keep going, but just it could be about you having a spouse, having children. You could say oh, the kids are making noise right now, or I have to go get the baby in a second from the nanny. Just write that down. The purpose is for you to really get your mind off of that relationship. But it's not just about getting your mind off of that relationship you've just left. It is about keeping your mind off of the past. Remember, that friend is gone out of your life. You've moved on. So anytime you think about them, you are thinking about the past. You are keeping yourself in the past. And so you really have to get your mind focused on the future. I want to talk a little bit more about this. So I heard a sermon the other day where the speaker said that Jesus told us only to remember one woman. And this was mind-blowing. I knew this, but it was mind-blowing that the speaker said it was only one woman he told us to remember. Lot's wife. Oh my goodness. That was insane. I had no idea it was the only woman that he told us to remember. And what do we know about Lot's wife? Well, we know that when Lot and his family were spared from the wrath that was coming upon Sodom and Gomorrah, that they were told to leave and run out of leave their home. They were told to go and flee. But the angel of the Lord said one thing. The angel of the Lord said, do not look back. What did Lot's wife do? She looked back. And she was turned into a pillar of salt. I'm just here to let you know, do not look back at that situation. Do not look ahead, look forward. Now, I know that when we are leaving a situation, a terrible situation, and we don't know just exactly where we're going, it is hard, very, very hard, if we do not have a plan that's set for us to look ahead. And so we will always find ourselves looking back if we don't have that plan. And so you doing this exercise is helping you to look forward and to keep you from not looking back. You telling people that you don't want to talk about this relationship or this situation because you are focused on moving forward. You are focused on the present and the future, and that's it. Someone has a problem with that, they can part too. But you are focused on the future because we're seeing we don't want to be held back. We don't want to stay where we are. We want to grow. This person has already done enough mental work to try to keep us down. This up again. Ow. Okay, third thing that we will discuss is the self-work and the inner work of self-acceptance. All right, ladies, I have to say, if you knew just a fraction of how much God loves you and values you, man, you'd be unstoppable, and you just wouldn't put up with so much. We collectively would not put up with so much of stuff that we have put up with in the past. And this is so important because when we know our worth, despite the bonding moment, despite the covert responses where we're like, are they being genuine or not? Despite it all, despite the deception, when we know our worth and our value, you'll just get the ick. Like anyone who seems like they mean to cause us harm, we won't allow around us because we will know our value, we will know our worth. And so we are going to talk about building up that self-worth. And to be clear, when I'm talking about self-worth, I'm talking about your perception of self-worth because I believe that this is true. We are all worth John 3:16. So you can't increase that. Like an ounce of gold is an ounce of gold. But its perceived value is different based on who needs it for what. So we are worth the most important thing. You were bought with a price. You are valuable. You are worthy. The goal here is really just to build up your sense of self-worth. If that's making sense to you, you are so precious to God and so important. But I just know that it is in this life, in this world, things have just gotten us down. And so we have to build up that sense of self-worth. Let's go back to the fake friend just for a second. Remember, the fake friend is someone who likes something about you. That's where we're going to stop. That person likes something about you. Nobody wants to be around someone that they can't stand. They're jealous. They were jealous of you, but there's something about you that makes you shine and makes you wonderful. And when you know what that is, because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we have so many people that come into our lives who are just disrespecting us. And again, they want us, but they want us at a discount. Is because we don't know that worth. We don't value that worth. For me, I'm really great at networking. And for some time, I didn't really value it because, my dad's a people person. My brother's a people person. They're really great at networking and meeting people. And I was like, oh, it's who we are. But I've been really good at connecting people. And I had people around me just for that purpose. And I didn't know that they were coming around me just for that purpose. But now that I know, I'm more mindful, and now I'm like, oh, okay, let me be more careful about this person coming around and that person coming around because that's not good to have someone who's not genuine. But again, if you know your value and worth, it's much easier for you to see what's happening because I had a fake friend, and the person would like comment on, anytime I brought a group of friends together, And people are like, thank you, Lavon, so much for connecting us. This is great. That person like didn't like the restaurant, or, and you're like, what's happening here? But they want to stick around because they want to stay a part of the network. So it was actually more of like a professional networking thing, but but still, even in those situations, when you know your value, you'll know why people are coming around. Now, in another session, we'll dive into how to build the perception of your worth or self-worth. But to give a few tips, I'll meditate on the stories in the Bible where God has shown people just amazing, great favor. So, I might study Joseph's story, Esther, or Daniel, and just seeing that, the love that God has shown them. I will do words of like affirmations, just saying that, I'm amazing, I'm wealthy, healthy, happy, and wise. Really just speaking good things over myself. And then also I like to listen to encouraging messages that talk about our worth and value in God. So those, and then also I just might call my parents or just, some of my good friends. But those are just some things I do to help build up that self-worth. Healing is it's such an important process. And we talked about it at the end, but I don't want you to be confused about the process at all. When I'm working with my clients and they come to me about issues with a fake friend, we don't start breaking down the nuances of fake friends and the bonding and when all that happened. I collect that information, but the focus really is on the individual. The focus really is on you, and on that healing. So, if you are dealing with a fake friend right now and you just don't feel right now in your spirit to like let that friendship go, maybe there's too many other parties involved to just separate, and you feel like you cannot do that. You could, but that is not something you feel comfortable about doing right now. Focus on the healing part. Focus on the forgiveness. Focus on that energy work where you just start finding a new community and you just start growing yourself and you start going, in other places, writing that 5-year, doing that 5-year exercise, and then, building up your self-worth. Because what will happen is you will just start to realize that certain people, they're not worth your time and they really don't deserve you. I mean, you might start looking for a new job. You may finally find that man who you're like, God, like, where is he? Because he sees this like confident queen. If you're looking for a king, he's looking for a queen. And right now, maybe you just got your maybe you got your head down or whatever. And so just start working on yourself. Start working on yourself. Don't worry so much about if you don't feel comfortable taking action on that. The first steps, I say, the healing process, you should take action on something every single day towards this issue, but start within. Start on yourself. I'm letting you know, there are times where I've seen it clearly like, oh, this person is not genuine and walked away. But there's times where I had to work on myself first and then walk away, because there's all these like Jedi mind tricks that are happening. I've grown from that, and so now it's much easier for me to do that. But hey, it is a lot of work, and remember, we're coming from an abundance mindset, so do not rush the process. Focus on healing your heart. Focus on staying connected to God. He will guide you more than any coach can help you with, any therapist, more than I can help you with. Anything you can find out there on the internet, the Lord will guide you. Remember, before I even saw the signs of some people who were not genuine in my life, the Lord started telling me, nah, they gotta go. So just start to work on that part. I was talking about the healing process. I want to share 2 examples of that. The first one is that, like I said, I didn't move right away. I didn't let go of that friend. I just knew something wasn't right, but I started working on myself. And through that process, the Lord spoke to me and said, Levon, would you do this to this person? And just started kind of going through and asking me these questions. And through that, I was able to walk away from this person. I was able to let them go. I have a little bit. How much time do we have? All right. However, a more recent one, and you'll probably be surprised that I did this after doing this video, but it was more so because this person was an associate, and it was in a networking. It's in a professional setting. So, hey, we're businesswomen. We got to deal with all types of people. So this person disrespected me in a very clear and apparent way. And my plan was to walk away from the situation, but I was going to stay in the environment for a little bit longer because there was something that everyone had to come together for. And I was like, I didn't want to, but I was like, because it's a professional, event and it's a professional relationship, I needed to be there. And the Lord said, no, let them go now. Let it go now. And I was like, oh. I was taken aback, and I was like, oh, it's, some people are counting on me to be there because I was the one who helped to make this thing happen. Again, I'm like that connection person. And the Lord was like, no, move on now. I said, okay, fine. Because I was like, when God speaks like that, there's times where he's talking to you and you slowly start to change and move on from something. But this time, he was like, no, today, make that decision today that you're not going to go to this thing. And I was like, okay. And he said, and just so you know, I am going to give you something great. And I was like, and he told after I was like, yes, I'm done. I'm gonna, it's fine. It was like, it's not that serious. And the next day, I kid you not, I made 2 really important professional connections. And, if I was still associating myself with this whole sphere, I would have felt the need to bring, I was just bringing more professionals together or whatever. And had I done that, it would have messed up my own personal growth with my business. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was just, but that is sticking with God. He gave me time to process and to heal in one situation, and he was like, no, let this go now. This doesn't serve you. So that's why I say just stick with God, because he will give you those steps and let you know when it's time to move, and trust him. Don't worry about, will you have community or anything like that. Community is important. Sometimes he does put us in isolation, but community is important. Maybe think about joining a church or something. You don't have to be in isolation. Don't force yourself into isolation. I just wanted to share that. But do focus on healing so that you can learn who to allow into your space moving forward. I hope in sharing those 2 stories with you about how the Lord guided me on, when to let go and how to move with certain, fake people. I hope it helps you to begin to see just how important your value is to God. I hope you see how sometimes sticking around certain people will, it hinders your blessing. Most importantly, with all of that stress, that we have, it really is hard for God to bless us and to give us those things. It's really hard for him to release those things into our lives. Think about it. If there is a really great business plan that you're working on, or a job opportunity you want to go out for, or a networking group you want to join, well, if you do that with this person in your life, they could undermine everything, all the plans that God has for you. They could just be undermining it, and things could just be like not going right behind your back and you not know. And so I really champion you to just really see your worth and value in the future, like now, in the present and in the future, and not be so focused on those past bonding moments. Now, I want to say this, and I'm going to look at my notes for this, because it was like, I felt so led to share this. So ultimately, this person is not bigger than your dream, and you are not responsible for her growth. She does not want to grow, or she wouldn't be so terrible towards you. Move on. Your dreams and goals are way too big to let someone else slow you down. And actually, the way I remind myself is that this person is not just hindering my dreams, but could be hindering my God-given dreams. And hence, blessings are being blocked, and keeping them around is almost like putting them above God, because we are saying that not wanting to let this person go is more important than the plans the Lord has for us and our relationship with Him. I know that was heavy, but it's true. And my queen, this person is not that special. Again, it might be hard for you to let them go, but they ain't that special. They're not more important than God. They're not more important than what He's doing in your life and the love that He loves you right now, but just those blessings that He's ready to give you. But that person most likely could, snatch up or do something too. So here on this channel, the motto is to show a woman how to love herself, for in doing so, you show her how to love the world. And I really thank you for watching this video and just taking all of the lessons in on this session, and you taking that step to put yourself first and to prioritize yourself, because when we are dealing with fake friends, it's usually because you've played that nice girl trope, and we know that the person isn't good for us, but usually we're doing it because we feel bad for the person, or we feel like it needs to be super obvious, because when we let them go, it'll almost be like it was our minds playing tricks on us and there was something wrong with us. But I just hope that you have peace in knowing that you choosing you is the best thing for you. I hope you have peace in knowing that this person is a fake friend. I hope you have peace in knowing that, because you would not do the things that this person is doing to you. And if you made it this far in this video, thank you so much for watching. I do content like this all the time, and we are starting out here on YouTube now. I will do many other topics, anything that's just focusing on, having women grow. I like to focus a lot on goal setting, and just planning for the future and building on yourself. I spent the past 15 years in operations, really on end-to-end projects, and just getting things done. And I found that in my personal life, I was struggling to accomplish things. And it wasn't until I really unlocked that mindset that I had to put myself first. It wasn't until I realized that I was operating from a place of lack, and I really wasn't valuing myself. And I learned to set boundaries. It was then and only then that so many cool things unlocked for me, like me being able to move to, a dream location, and me being able to live my dream life. All those things are waiting for you on the other side of you taking that step to take care of yourself and put yourself first. Because remember, ladies, when you show up for yourself, you can show up for the world. Self-care is not selfish. So I hope you join me on this journey about just leveling up and, really taking care of ourselves so that we can really be that light that God has called us to be. All right.